Most witches meet their end in the muck, blade in hand, silver-slaying monsters, bargaining with peasants for a handful of coins, forgotten by kings and kingdoms alike. They live by the code. No emotion, no faction, no politics, condemned to die as tools of the common folk. But Letho of Gulet was not most witches. He saw the truth. No other school would dare acknowledge. The deadliest monsters do not lurk in the woods. They wear crowns. They spill kingdoms' blood for greed and glory. Letho did not just break the witch's code, he weaponized it. He turned neutrality into a scalpel, regicide into a strategy, and a contract with an emperor into a campaign that dismantled the northern kingdoms. With nothing but tactical brilliance and 2 brothers in arms, he turned a continent into a graveyard. This is the story of the witcher who abandoned monster hunting to hunt kings, the most lethal predator the continent ever knew. The fallacy of the brute. Giant's frame, genius's mind. The world dismisses Letho as a brute, a massive, towering witcher of the Viper school, muscles coiled like steel, face scarred by mutation and war. They see a killing machine, a mindless thug, a monster in human skin. This is the greatest fallacy of the continent. Letho's physical power is nothing next to his strategic intellect. He is not a berserker. He is a mastermind. His immense frame is a mask, hiding a mind that calculates political vulnerability with the precision of a scholar. Letho repurposed every witcher mutation not for monster hunting, but for political warfare. His enhanced senses, forged to track beast tracks in the dark, became tools to detect the flaws in kingdoms' defenses, the paranoia of kings, the arrogance of mages, the disloyalty of lords. His superhuman reflexes, honed to dodge claws and fangs, became the precision to strike at the heart of power without leaving a trace. His willingness to abandon the Witcher Code made him an existential threat to the status quo. Other witchers clung to neutrality as a cage. Letho wielded it as a weapon. He felt no loyalty to kings, no fear of mages, no mercy for the corrupt. Unshackled by honor, unburdened by morality, he became unpredictable. A storm no throne could weather, a blade no crown could block. The Adenian masterclass. Assassination as a blueprint. Letho's first stroke of genius was the assassination of King Demavend of Aedirn, a masterclass in high-stakes tactical execution, a kill that turned a nation into a paralyzed corpse. Demavend ruled from a fortress, surrounded by elite guards, protected by mages, feared by his enemies. He believed himself untouchable. Letho saw him as a target. Letho's plan was not brute force, it was psychological warfare. He spread whispers of treason, stoking Demavend's paranoia, turning the king's own guards and advisors against him. He isolated Demavend in his own fortress, making the safe haven a prison. When the king was stripped of trust, surrounded only by fear, Letho struck. No army could stop him. No magic could save the king. The ripple effect of this single kill was catastrophic. Aedirn's defense collapsed overnight. The nobility fractured, vying for the empty throne. The army disintegrated, leaderless and afraid. A single tactical strike, executed with cold precision, paralyzed an entire nation. This was Letho's doctrine: kill the head, and the body dies. Not with armies, but with strategy, weaponizing the lodge of sorceresses, manipulating the masters of magic. They saw themselves as puppet masters, manipulating kings and kingdoms, untouchable in their arcane power. Letho saw them as tools. He manipulated the lodge with a simplicity that exposed their greatest flaw: ego. Letho feigned the role of a mindless mercenary, a brute for hire, a weapon with no will of his own. He let the lodge believe they controlled him, that they used him as a blade to eliminate their enemies. He exploited their blind arrogance, Sile's belief in her own superiority, Philippa's hunger for power, their certainty that no mortal, especially no witcher, could outthink them. He let the lodge fund his campaign, provide him with intelligence, open doors for his assassinations. They gave him resources, access, and protection, all to further their own quest for power. In the end, Letho turned their own power against them. The Lodge's arrogance fueled the chaos that destroyed their plans. They thought they used the Witcher. In truth, the Witcher used them. The strategic genius of chaos. 3 men, a continent in flames. Letho's greatest tactical gift was his ability to create chaos with minimal resources. He did not lead armies. He did not command fleets. He operated with only 2 fellow Viper School witches, 3 men total, to destabilize an entire continent. This is the ultimate efficiency of power, to rule not with numbers, but with fear. He framed Geralt of Rivia for his killings, turning the White Wolf into a scapegoat. The continent's hatred focused on Geralt, the famous Witcher, while Letho worked in the shadows. This misdirection hid his Nilfgaardian ties, leaving his enemies blind to the true mastermind. Letho's dominion of fear tactic broke every throne. Northern kings lived in terror of the Kingslayer, seeing traitors in every shadow, making desperate, reckless decisions to save themselves. Paranoia destroyed their alliances, fear crippled their defenses, and panic unraveled their kingdoms. All from the shadow of a single Witcher. 3 men. 1 strategy. A continent broken. The ultimate Nilfgaardian asset. The Viper's contract. Letho's rampage was never random. It was a contract signed with Emhyr var Emreis, the Emperor of Nilfgaard. In exchange for dismantling the northern kingdoms, Emhyr promised the Viper School's restoration, a return to glory, a home, a future for the broken witches of the Viper. Letho fought not for gold, but for redemption, for his school, his brothers, his forgotten people. The contrast with the School of the Wolf is stark. The Wolf School witches hunt monsters for coins, living and dying in obscurity, clinging to a code that leaves them homeless and hated. Letho chose a different path. He hunted the monsters that ruled the world. He rejected the Wolf School's futility, seized power, and fought to restore his school. This is why Letho is the continent's most dangerous predator. He understood the ultimate truth of the Witcher. The woods hold no evil compared to the thrones. Monsters with claws are trivial next to monsters with crowns. Letho did not fail as a Witcher. He evolved beyond one. He proved that a Witcher need not die in the mud fighting beasts. He proved that neutrality is not a cage, but a weapon. He proved that the most dangerous predator is not the one with fangs, but the one with a mind. To see the rot in thrones, the courage to strike, and the brilliance to burn empires to the ground. The Kingslayer is more than a Witcher. He is a warning to every king, every mage, every tyrant. The monsters you fear are not in the woods. They are the ones who decide to hunt you. And Letho of Gulet was the first to pull the trigger.